So one of the things that I'm really leaning into as I'm helping my husband get going with his real estate business is exactly what I've been reading on Inman News and Real Day News and all the different real estate news that I go with or I focus on and read. And one of the things that I keep hearing over and over, and you have to forgive me because I'm searching something on my phone for you while I pull this up, is to have a old school with new school tactics. Old school with new school tactics. Now, have you gone to a restaurant lately where there is a QR code on the table that you have to scan it to open a menu? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Okay, so how many people in the world today are getting trained, regardless of their age, on how to use QR codes? A lot, right? I was in a restaurant in Florida not too long ago where the couple sitting next to me were probably 80 or above, and they knew how to do it, like literally knew how to scan the QR code. So here's the thing, go on QR code free, and you can QR code generator free, and you're going to get some free sites where you can create a QR code. You can record a video. You can record a video and tie that video to your QR code. I've done it. I've coached a couple of my clients to do it. And you can put that QR code on your postcard that you mail out. And it says, scan me. And so when the homeowner gets it, they can scan it and your video is going to pop up. And I advise you guys, don't do this, video that you spent all this money on and everything else, because the important thing is to start. Just do a video with your iPhone. Just do a video with your iPhone and use the edit screens on it to pretty it up and whatever you want to do. And just make it at least 90 seconds or less. Write this down, 90 seconds or less. It should not be more than that. All right. And then what we do from that is you put that on your postcards, and when it goes out, they scan it. And not only that, but if you actually do a paid source for the QR code, which is not a lot of money, there's a CRM and it's going to track how many times someone looked at your video. We'll track how many times someone looks at your video. Now, why is this important? Video is important. People don't want to read anymore. They want to what?
Watch videos.
They want to watch a video, and they don't want to watch a long video. They don't want to watch a long video, and they want the first 20 to 30 seconds of that video to be compelling. So if I were Sandy, I would say on my video, are you interested in a cash buyer that's going to pay well above asking price for your home? You might be thinking right now that no one would be willing to do that, but Joni and Chachi are absolutely ready to do it. They're clients of mine. And if you're interested, give me a call, right? It just needs to be slap them in the face, hit them upside the head. What could you do right now with $1.5 million in your pocket? Or if you're in another market, what could you do with $500,000 in your pocket? What kind of decisions could you make? You just want to slap them right across the face with it. All right. So that is a hack today. That's how you take old school postcards and farming and you combine it with new school tactics. Janet, you're raising your hand. You have a question? You're muted, Janet. Okay, I'm going to read some stuff while Janet's getting unmuted. Nick says, I can't wait for this call to be bigger than Pivot Shift Ahead. I just wanted to let you know. Becky, you're killing it. Thank you, Nick. I appreciate it. You know how it can be bigger than Pivot Shift Ahead? Send it to some people and get them to like it. Get them to like it. Get them to like it and invite some agents in. Thank you so much, Nick. I love that you said that. Janet, go ahead.
Can you send that link or that QR code? If you would, please.
You know what? I bet you that Nick, because he's of that millennial generation, Nick, I bet you could look it up and share it with Janet, right? Where are you? I don't know what happened. Nick may have just, yeah, there he is right there. Nick can probably look it up for you and share it. There are many out there, Janet. It's just not one. You have to find the one that's going to work for you. Just do a Google search and
Okay.
put in QR code free, and it'll pull up free
Alright.
and paid. All right. So that's how you combine an old school tactic with new school tactics. One of the things I also told you last week was to use Sly Broadcast Dial. Sly Broadcast Dial. So if you want to leave 100 compelling voicemails for potential sellers in neighborhoods, then buy the phone list for those neighborhoods, buy Sly Broadcast, record a very short, excited, compelling voicemail that's going to grab people in the first couple of seconds, and leave a voicemail for about 100 people. Go on Sly Broadcast Dial to figure that out. Guys, this is a way that you reach more people. You reach more people, and then you can follow it up again with another live phone call. But if someone's looking to sell or thinking about selling and you've got a buyer, how many of you right now, if you were to look up at your board, I know Janine does, how many of you have a list of buyers? Raise your hand. I know Janine does, because when we coach, she looks at her board and she's like, these are all my buyers that I got, right? Okay, so if you wanted to leave a voicemail on everybody's phone in a certain neighborhood and give them the first name of your buyer so that they know it's a real thing, Sly Broadcast Dial could help you do that. If you've got 5 buyers and you need to circle prospect 7 or 8 different neighborhoods, that can help you do that. And then you can go back and make individual calls. You can't talk to too many people. You can't leave too many voicemails, guys. You can't get on video enough. You can't get in people's faces enough. They have to see you so that they can, hey, that's the agent for me. That person can absolutely help me buy or sell my home. Okay, great. So was that helpful this morning? Raise your hand.
Yeah.
Helpful? All right, awesome. We got some really good thoughts out there. Don't forget, last Monday on this call, we gave 19 ways to get listings. And then on Thursday, we gave another 15 ways. How many ways is that? Somebody tell me. How many ways is that to get listings? What's 19 plus 15? Somebody tell me.
34.
34 ways to get listings. So let me ask you a question. How many of you have implemented one of those ways from last week? All right, Renee, Janine, Nick, there's 34 ways to go get listings that I gave you last week on 2 different days. Guys, these are not my ideas. These were people, these are agents out in the community, out in the country. This is what they're doing to have success. Go find one of those ways. All right, here's the one thing we're in. We're starting new, the one thing. I want to read you something and I want to hear what you think about it. And I'm on chapter 10, which is called the focusing question. All right. This is what Mark Twain said. It's on page 103. The secret of getting ahead is getting started. The secret of getting ahead is getting started.
Or my
This-
AirPods are.
I'm going to mute Katie. There we go. The secret of getting ahead is getting started. The secret to getting started is breaking your complex, overwhelming tasks into small, manageable tasks, and then starting on the first one. I'm going to read that again. The secret to getting started is breaking your complex, overwhelming tasks into small, manageable tasks, and then starting on the first one. When we get into overwhelm, it's because we have too many things written down to do. But if we break them down into small success lists and just start chipping away at each one, we will focus on the most important things first. So for those of you that aren't driving, get out a piece of paper and a pencil or a pen for me, please. Show me when you got it. Show me when you got it. Awesome, awesome. I want you to write down the answer to this question when it specifically comes to your business, your business. We could focus on personal, we could focus on physical, we could focus on health, we could focus on all those different things, but your personal. I want you to write down on this piece of paper your 2022 goal, whether it's in volume, commission, whatever it is. And this is actually not a bad idea for you to get up and do every day, even though, or every Monday, even though you may already know it in your head, to actually let your brain influence your cells, right? Because your cells eavesdrop on your thoughts. Do this every Monday morning. Take your goal, now divide it by 12. Divide it by 12. So everybody do that. Take your goal. So if your goal is 300,000 in commissions this year, divide it by 12. And just look at me once you have that done. Divide it by 12. Divide it by 12. Okay, got it? Now, whatever number you came up with in dividing it by 12, I want you to divide that by 4. So you have an annual number, and then you divided it by 12. And now I want you to divide it by 4. Divide that number by 4. That 12, when you divided it by 12, that number, that's your 1 month number. Now divide it by 4. Look at me when you get that done. Okay, that's your goal for this week. That's your goal for this week. Now, if it's a closing goal, don't get overwhelmed by it. If it's a commission amount goal, look at your week and say, do I have this amount closing this week? And if the answer is no, then go after getting it pending this week. Go after getting it pending this week. So now you've got that 1 week number. I want you to circle it. Circle that 1 week number. Okay, I'm going to help you today. I'm going to help you get out of overwhelm and get into action. Now I'm going to ask you this question. What is the one thing you can do such that by doing it, everything else becomes easier or unnecessary? That's the focusing question in this book. So if we take that down to about what you need to do this week, what is the one thing I can do such that by doing it, I achieve my goal for this week? What is the one thing I can do such that by doing it, I achieve my goal this week? And if your answer is, I'm going to give you an example. If your answer is get 1 pending, but right now you don't have anything to get pending, then you ask yourself a question. What's the one thing I can do to get 1 deal pending? What's the one thing I can do? Well, that would be, if you don't have anything in the pipeline, that would be set an appointment. So what's the one thing I can do to set an appointment today? What's the one thing I can do to set an appointment today? I love it that last week, Sandy didn't even ask herself that question, but she jumped in and started calling Boomtown, and she got like 2 deals pretty darn quickly. Now that won't happen for everybody, and yet it could, but we don't know if we don't start. If we don't start, and that's exactly what Mark Twain said here on page 103. He said, the secret of getting ahead is getting started. And then Gary comes along behind him and says, the secret to getting started is to ask yourself the highest level question to know exactly what it is you must do today. So if it's to get an appointment, what is the one thing I must do today to get an appointment? What is the one thing I must focus on to get an appointment? It's that easy, or that simple, I should say. It's just not that easy. Why isn't it easy? Because we let all this other stuff come in. We get off of this call and we get on Facebook and we get on email and we get up and we go talk to someone in the kitchen and we do this and we do this and we do this. And if we would just roll right into the most important thing, you could be done by 10:30, right? You could be done by 10 or 10:30. All right, guys, has this been helpful to you to really identify how to get started today on your Monday?
Yes.
And for those of you that have buyers in your pipeline, your one thing is finding a listing and you're circle prospecting and you're hitting that hard to find a listing. That's your number one thing. And then the number two thing is to figure out, when I find that listing, which you will, then how can I bring these two sides together to the benefit of both parties? And yet, if it's not a match, how can I then show this seller how I can get them what they want? Right? It's just the one thing. All right, I love you guys. Tomorrow, we are going to talk a little bit more about the one thing, but I'm also going to bring some more value to you in terms of how to get listings, how to get buyers under contract. We're going to talk a little bit about that first, and then we'll jump in. Here's what I'd love to have from you guys. Just like you participated this morning, I would love to hear tomorrow how focusing on your one thing went today. Can you do that for me? Can you do that for me? Can you guys share a win with me? Hey, Lou, it's good to see you, honey. That's my win. Louise Johnson showed up today. I hope to see her tomorrow. I love all y'all. Y'all go do your one thing. Have a good day. Bye.
You.
Bye.